All right, everybody, we're back once again with EG taking on Absolute Legends. This is actually going to be try number 2. And you know what? I'm actually just going to go ahead and turn off the overlay because we can't see what people are picking anyway. My screen is bugged, so we're just going to pop in the in-game overlay. And we're going to have Absolute Legends once again taking on EG. My name is Draskyl, joined by Ganked for this broadcast. We already went over the draft. This is a remake game. You got to wait 30 seconds for this silly window to disappear. I hope they fix that bug soon. I think once everybody picks their heroes, it should just go right into the game. That pretty much only makes sense. So we can see everybody from Absolute Legends and EG have all picked up their heroes here. We'll go over the players again really fast for those of us who are just tuned in. Yeah, if you open like the hero drop-down tab near the top left next to the log, yeah, that'll show you who's playing what. But a couple more seconds, game's going to be back underway, so no big deal there. And I'm not really sure if anybody was able to scout out lanes from either team. So I think we're going to be seeing the same thing as last time. We're going to have the Sand King soloing top, tri-lane bottom with the Venomancer, Morphling, and the Rubik, and the AL's tri-lane actually going to be going to the top lane. So both teams opting to go to their long lane rather than the safe one, which means that we could be seeing a potential Furion solo bottom. And in regards to kill potential, I got to give the advantage to EG here. They can dive a Furion very easily in comparison to diving onto a Sand King.
Yeah, the EG is definitely playing this a lot better in the laning phase. Demon is clearly not going to get anything because he comes up and he'll instantly die. But EG's smart for sending it their tri-lane bottom and just get that more farmed up.
Well, they're using some treants to scout out here, see if they can manage to spot Damon, but it's not going to happen. He's kind of sitting here by the tower, sitting in a little juke spot. And there is a tri-lane here sitting in the right-hand side of the jungle, waiting to smoke up, I would imagine. This is the problem, too. If Godot gets caught, again, he does not have teleport at level 1. He only has his rank of Nature's Call to scout the lanes for his team. So if he gets Galed or disrupted or anything, basically, it's going to be a free first blood. And we see two members of AL actually making their way towards the bottom lane. Maybe they're anticipating this. Maybe they think that it's going to be a solo top. Or did they somehow see Sand King? That would be very impressive if they manage to scout him out.
I think this is going to be a dual lane top with a tied solo bottom and the Furion jungle, because the Furion has a ring of protection and 4 clarities. So it looks like he's going to be going into the woods.
Oh, wow, that's actually not quite what I was expecting, but yeah, you're right there. Right on top of it, man. See, that's why I have co-casters. Sometimes I don't always check everyone's inventories. And I'm going to go ahead and pop up the last hits there so people can keep track of what's going on. Very aggressive ward behind the tower and tied. Oh, man. Oh, man, this could be trouble. Here comes Universe. There's a disruption. Goes right off the bat. He's going to pop out and get Galed here by Melk. But Music... Oh, he misses the Gale! Nice sidestep by Musica, and that's going to be a first blood pretty much missed right there from EG. A little bit of a misplay. They're going to pull the creep wave out here, but, man... That should have pretty much been a free kill right there. Unfortunate that they didn't get it. He throws out the West Heart. Got a little bit of delay. Sorry for that, buddy, but nonetheless, looks like Tide's going to reap the benefits of Venomancer not having the greatest ping.
He knows that his ping is higher. He probably should have just waited a little bit. The Tide wasn't going to go anywhere. There's 3 heroes, and he could have just took his time and hit the Gale, but... AL now knows that Furion is jungling, so they're going to go looking for him.
Oh, you mean EG? Yeah. The Venomancer's already making their way over there, headed towards that middle lane. And Furion sitting over here in a pretty safe spot. I don't really think they're going to be able to kill him, especially because the Shadow Demon's not there. Going to have another pause out, so we'll go ahead and look up at the top lane. So it's like you said, CK and AA versus a solo Sand King. And as much as I would say that the Sand King's not going to get much done here, he's also probably not going to die. Even though he got Caustic Finale at rank or level 1, he didn't get Burrow Strike or anything like that. Okay, now he has Sandstorm, so he's playing a very defensive lane. He doesn't really want to worry about getting kills. He's just going to go ahead and try to get whatever farm he can, and he can just Sandstorm whenever he's in trouble and basically Burrow Strike away from the Cold Feet. He's going to get 2-second stunned right here. He's going to go ahead and Sandstorm, but that Cold Feet will still proc. He's going to get Reality Rift back in. He's going to get frozen right here, but Snoopy went back for some reason. Not enough auto attack damage to seal the kill, and I think that Bleak, with 1 or 2 more auto attacks and maybe one from AA, would have taken out Demon right there. A little bit of passive play coming out from AL too, so I would say that's another minor mistake.
Yeah, it looked like a little miscommunication. Snoopy backed when Bleak stunned, and then he had to go back up in Cold Feet, and then he backed away again, and Bleak blinked that towards him, so... if they combo it a little better, that would have been easy first blood.
Yeah, especially in Sandstorm. Like, if he Sandstorms to negate Cold Feet, that does not work. Like, you'll still get frozen in places. We saw him get pulled back in by the CK, but nonetheless, 2 potential first bloods missed, 1 each by by each individual team. That's really, really strange. Not used to seeing those kind of execution errors from teams this high caliber, but looking at the CS so far, 11-6 for the CK. He's leading the board for his team, and then you have 12-2 for the Morphling, and then 11-3 for Rubik. So pretty much even on farms so far. Total gold graph right now, looking at about 200 in advantage of AL, so nothing really to worry about too much, and about 250 experience, but that's just really the strength of having a jungler.
Yeah, and Chitan got 2 levels in laser, one in March, or one in missiles, so it looks like he's going for the burst damage. So you're probably going to try to be able to take out that more quick. And Shadow Demon has an invis. This might be trouble for the Furion as Malk's roaming around.
Yeah, this is going to be really hard for him to avoid, too. The Shadow Demon is like the worst here to have the invis, maybe next to the Venomancer. The Disruption is going to come out here in just a second. Can Malk land the second gale of the game? Here it comes. He will land it this time, and Godot is going to be able to actually TP back to base, so maybe the Disruption was a bit early here. Now comes Tinker from middle lane. Chitan doing quite a bit of damage to Universe. He's still on level 1. Is he going to drop here? One more auto attack. He selves up between. He should be able to get away here. Actually, might not be able to. Rubik coming in, though, from the opposite side. There's a telekinesis, and Venomancer still throwing out some auto attacks on a Chitan. No TP reaction yet from Ale, but he is going to bottle up between the autos. Another gale does land, and the laser goes off, excuse me, and he's missing his auto attacks here, but Bulba should be able to get the first blood, but Melk is going to pay with his life. So while they do get first blood, they end up losing their support in the process, and it looks like bottom lane, Morphling managing to pick off Tide in a 1v1. That's not something that I was expecting to happen.
Yeah, I don't know what happened bottom. I was watching mid as well. Chitan misclicked on the Shadow Demon and ended up hitting the Venomancer. And that one shot would have got him to kill first. But he turned around and lasered Bulba, which was nice.
Oh, top lane
bought us
too.
some time.
Demon taking quite a bit of damage, but he's going to be able to Sandstorm here. Bleak managing to get out of tower range before he goes down. And Demon doing a pretty good job of doing harassment damage. I'm not really sure how this is working out for him. Maybe it's just because of the fact that Ale's playing so aggressively on top of that tower. But so far, a lot of strange plays being made here from both teams. I mean, Musica dying as solo Tide versus solo Morphling, that's just something that you don't expect to happen.
Yeah, that's a pretty big mistake. I don't know how he was able to do it, to be honest. But Fear is also west, so he's definitely got the ping advantage. We'll go with that one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, right now he's sitting at 32 CS. He's even higher than the CK, and speaking of, Ale once again very aggressively diving onto the Sand King. Oh, but there's a smoke up here by EG. Where's the Gale from Milk? Is he going to be able to land it? He does clip Snoopy. And now AA in a lot of trouble here. Not going to be able to get away. Who's going to get the last hit? It's going to be Universe on that Shadow Demon. Great catch out there. 1-3 right now in favor of Evil Geniuses. And I got to say, man, their lanes are actually looking pretty strong at the moment. Tinker is getting out CS mid by the Rubik. Bottom lane obviously not going too well for Musica. He's already given Fear a kill, and Fear is basically just free farming down here.
Yeah, AG's moving around the map nicely. Ale's not really taking advantage of this Furion. He could be anywhere. But he's pretty much just been sitting next to mid farming.
Well, at this stage, I mean, level 4 is probably the first level where you can gank, and it's going to be that effective because you have all your abilities. Some people... Oh, no, Music is going to go down again. Waveform, one auto attack, but Fear can't quite get it. The base move speed of Tide is a little bit too strong, 285 compared to 310. So Fear did not have boots right there and able to chase him down for the last hit. And Musica manages to escape with his life, but he doesn't have any regen left. And this is going to be a lot of wasted time for him. He's not going to be able to get back to the lane anytime soon. And this is just more free farm time for Fear. But right now, man, EG's lanes just look to be a little bit too strong.
Yeah, they should probably just stick Fury on top and have the CKA roam around to get some kills because Malk and Universe are doing so well. And they just have no counter for it.
Man, they are just using smokes all day right here. Malk actually had another smoke up. Universe and... Oh, no. Telekinesis onto Chitan. He's going to get dove by 4 heroes right here from EG. There's no reaction. However, Bulba does die to the Prophet on the side. Going to see his Sprout going off. So at the very least, it was a 1-for-1. Both mids were traded right there. Venomancer manages to pick up 1 kill. And in the top lane, it looks like we're going to have Demon Burrow striking off to the side here. He does not have mana to TP just yet. He's going to try to juke away from this AA and the Furion, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get out of here. Actually, I don't think they're going to be able to stun fast enough. He could potentially be able to TP out of the situation. He is going to try. Is he going to get the Reality Rift off? Or, oh, no, it's going to get canceled. And AA's auto attack was just flying off into the distance right there. Not sure if you saw that. But that was definitely interesting. And yeah, Demon's going to be able to get away. So nice play by him, knowing the path to take to not get hit by the tower, buying himself enough time to TP out of danger.
So it was a nice TP. The CK needed to stun because Blink doesn't stop channeling.
Oh,
But
no.
we got some trouble on bottom.
Soul Catcher's going to go off, but there's a counter Ravage. Only hits Milk, though, and Fear's going to go aggressively onto this. They want to get the tide. Their Soul Catcher is still on for a couple more seconds, but now Fear's going to go ahead and chase down Shatan instead. Milk does end up falling. So right now, 3-4 is still in favor of EG. And the CS board still, Fear leading with 48-31 on the Rubik, 39 on CK, and no one else on AL really has any CS to speak of. The Tinker's only at 17-4. Bulba is just absolutely demolishing this mid lane as Rubik.
That's the power of Fade Bolt. I mean, it lowers your damage, so it makes it a little harder to last hit. And Shatan's been getting roamed by 2 heroes, and you saw even the Sand King left the lane, so they're definitely keeping him down well.
Well, AL's at least going to be able to get this top tower. 2 TPs coming in, though. There's going to be a burst strike onto the A. 3-second stun onto the Sand King. Cold Feet coming out as well. Soul Catcher does land onto Snoopy along with the Gale. Furion ult's going to go off, and they don't manage to deny the tower. Bleak's chasing down Demon, but on the side, Universe almost dies to AA. Oh, no, the TP from Furion a little bit out of place right there. Spell Steal comes out. What did he even steal? There's a Sprout. And there's going to be a medallion used as well, but it's only going to end up getting Furion killed. Now Milk trying to retreat, and he ends up dying to just 1 catapult hit. So that was a little bit embarrassing. Unfortunate that he couldn't quite get away from that creep wave. Nonetheless, EG loses a tower. Now Demon looking to possibly burn strike on a Shatan here, but he doesn't have any backup. So Musica, or did I say Shatan? I meant Musica. Musica is going to be able to back up here.
It was a nice play by Bleak to turn around and get the tower, get that tower gold. Nice reaction by EG to come up and get the kills. And all in the meanwhile, the Morphling's just sitting bottom farming.
Yeah, he's got 60 CCS, man. It's only 9 minutes. That's like absolute 100% free farm. I think his CS score is actually pretty close to perfect right now.
It's almost perfect. It's something like 83 at 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah,
around there.
It's going to be close to that, which is very, very absurd. Even if you're in a lane solo, you don't see many people get that level of farm, you know? So it's going to be really tough for Ale to deal with that. He is 1-0 as well. Can't take away from the fact that he managed to get a kill. And the second highest on the map is actually CK, so that does help AL in some regards. But, I mean, a Morphling farming in comparison to his CK, I think CK has a bit better teamfight presence in the mid-game, but that's only until Morphling gets up his core items, and then I think he becomes a little bit stronger in terms of being able to pick off your supports faster and make it into a fight that's just not favored for AL.
Yeah, I wonder if Fear's going to go for the Lincoln's build. He has the Ring of Health. Doesn't mean he's going to go straight for it.
Oh, Universe going to get caught on the wrong side of the woods right here. 3-second stun. The Cold Feet goes off as well, and he is not going to make it past that gang. So AA picking himself up a kill right now. He's level 5. Bleak currently sitting at level 6. Go ahead and look at the gold graph once again. Yeah, it's a little bit of a swing in favor of EG. Even though AO got that top-tier tower, EG still pulling out ahead in the gold and experience department. About 2K at the moment. Only 10 minutes in, though. As Music is over here on the side, he does have his Ravage up, but he's going to get spotted out. Plague Ward dropped here by Milk to go ahead and chase him out. And at this stage, man, I mean, Tinker isn't even close to his bots. He's about 900 gold away, and that's not where he wants to be, needless to say. I mean, I think the Furion, AA, and Tinker, like trifecta, I guess you could call it, they want to have that global presence. They want to be able to pick heroes off, but I don't really think he's going to get it fast enough to be that big of a threat.
Yeah, they need to put some pressure on the Morphling. Like, they're trading farm between the CK and the AA, but then the AA is just sitting behind the CK, so they're not really doing anything. And they're about to get ganked here.
Milk getting caught off on the wrong side of the woods, instantly dies to the Gush, Rocket, and Laser combination, but bottom lane is going to be a double burrow strike. Is there going to be an epi? Yes, there is. Telekinesis onto Bleak to stop the Chaos Bolt, and that's 2 quick deaths. CK and AA both dropping to Rubik right there. Beautiful coordination coming out from EG, so they ended up trading 1 for 2 just as support for a carry and a support of AL, so EG once again coming out on top.
Yeah, it was a real nice telekinesis lifting up the CK so they couldn't stop the epicenter. But then again, like I said, they were just sitting there doing nothing, and now Tinker and Furion are just sitting mid. All the meanwhile, Morphling's still farming. They have to put some pressure up there, you know, use the Ravage, use whatever you need to, but slow him down.
Well, Ravage has been up for quite a while, and that's something that I've talked to a few players about. It's like, if you have an ultimate like that that's, I guess you could call an impact ultimate and game-changing, you want to be able to use it as much as you can. You know, you don't want to just sit on it for, 5 to 10 minutes. You want to try to force something out of it, and I really haven't seen too much of that coming out of AL. The only Ravage I've seen so far hit 1 hero, and it was a support Venomancer, which, I mean, yeah, they ended up getting a kill out of it, but it just feels like they haven't been able to force enough of an issue because their lanes just pretty much got dominated by EG early game.
Yeah, the when he used it to kill the Venomancer, EG backed off knowing he was going to Ravage right out of the dispersion. But they end up getting a kill, so you gotta say that's worth it. The cooldown's about 3 minutes.
Reality Rift 2-second stun, plus the cold feet, Fury on ultimate to boot, and Snoopy will end up getting the last hit right there. In the meantime, though, Fear still AFK farm in this top lane, 84 CS right now at just 12 minutes and 40 seconds into the game. Just to give people an idea who aren't familiar with a good CS score, 100 is standard at 20 minutes. He almost has 100, and it's 7 minutes prior to that mark, so he is doing incredibly well. Everyone else is pretty much on par for that 100 CS at 20 minutes, but right now, Fear, definitely the one to be feared, I guess, in this game, no pun intended. Didn't really have another word to use there, but nonetheless, EG still looking very strong as the gold and experience, well, experience actually climbing back a little bit into favor of AL, but the gold's still in their favor, about 2,000, and that's not really an enormous lead. This game is actually still very close. It's just that I worry about the late game potential of AL. I mean, CK is great, but that's really all they have. I mean, this Furion went for a medallion, so he's not going for a late game like right-click Furion build. He's trying to be active, and that means that his late game is going to suffer from that. So, I mean, what is AL going to do if they can't get the bots up soon and they can't make team fights happen?
Yeah, AL, I mean, they need this Furion to be ganking. He has the medallion, but he's still just been farming with it. And basically AL's getting out-supported. The EG supports are roaming around and giving Morphling the space to farm. And it's still a close game, but if you think about it, it's been 4v5 because Morphling's been farming the whole game. So once Morphling starts joining the fights, it's just
telekinesis off onto Bleak, and a 2-second Chaos Bolt steals it from Bleak right there. The AA Cold Feet is going to go off along with an ultimate, but another 4-second stun goes out, and looks like Demon's going to drop here as well. So trading the CK for a Sand King, and now Universe looks like he's going to try to TP out, but not going to work. Another kill for Snoopy, playing that Ancient Apparition right there. And they managed to trade 2 for 1, but two supports, well, I guess an offlaner and a support for a carry, and Bleak just really can't catch a break. He's 0-2 right now, only 3 assists, and his CS is going to fall even farther behind as Fear is split pushing this top lane. And even when they lose out in terms of hero kills, there's somebody always in position from EG to make something happen at the very least. I mean, they applied some pressure. Fear's going to get chased out here by Bleak, but they're forcing reaction, you know. Even spending that 135 gold is something. So I think that EG is definitely playing this a little bit better at the moment. But again, not too much of a lead for either team. Just going to go ahead and have to see how the mid-game plays out.
Yeah, EG's keeping the pressure up and giving their Morphling room. As you can see, Bleak had the TP top, but then, you know, Morphling just walked away because he knew he was going to chase him because of waveform.
Oh no, Musica once again getting caught out here. Going to see the A ultimate go off and the Ravage. Can Universe drop here? I think that he will. He disrupts himself to buy some time. The Sprout's going to go ahead and catch Boba right here. TP coming in from the tanker. Finally got his bots out. It's going to be a 1-for-0 right now. Only Shadow Demon dying. Tide was quite low on hit points. And we're going to have Rubik down here with an Invis rune. And he's going to take out Tide. He lifts up the AA as well. Now Bubba looks like he's in a bit of trouble. Sprout goes off, but he eats his way out of it straight away. Not going to get cold feeded. Medallion is popped. A couple more right clicks from Godot. Can they actually kill him here? 1 second on the Nature's Prophet ultimate. Oh, but he gets caught by CK anyway. And that's going to be another 2-for-1 actually in favor of AL. So that was nice reaction from them. Had all 5 heroes bottom lane to stop that initiation onto their Tide. Unfortunately, Musica still died. But gotta say, man, overcommitment there by the Rubik. Maybe he was just a little bit too bloodthirsty there.
Yeah, that was a good fight from AL. Unfortunately, the Furion ult was not up. Demon probably would have went down, and they didn't get him. But that was still overall a good fight, and hopefully they could take this tower and try to push their advantage now.
Going to see a TP top lane. Tidehunter coming in to stop the pressure of Fear. Should be able to get this tower relatively easily. Not going to see any TP reaction yet from EG. They do pop the glyph though, so it seems like they would want to fight this. Universe actually throws out a Purge onto Bleak. Going to see a TP coming in from Fear. They want to fight this. They're going to have Rubik coming in as well in just a second. They want to go for Godot, but a 3-second stun onto Fear. There's a disruption. Bleak going to be in some trouble now. Soulcatcher is on him. Another 3-second stun stolen by that Rubik, and the waveform goes off from Fear. Just way too much damage, man. Soulcatcher, 50% extra damage on a waveform. That is absolutely absurd damage output, and it looks like Fear is going to be going for that Linken's, by the way. He wants to go for the safer route, which I agree with. I think he doesn't want to end up taking too much burst damage because, let's be honest, AL is bringing it in spades. But they managed to get the tower deny, hold off the aggression from AL, and another little bit of a turnaround. So this game's still very, very close. Oh, wow. Rubik's still rearm. That's definitely funny.
Oh, jeez. Well, he can't.
I don't think he has the mana for that.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, he can rearm once, I
Spell
think,
Steal is kind of... It's already has a low cooldown, so... I guess he could... He can't even steal a spell and then rearm, but...
Well, I mean, he
Like, he
could
doesn't have mana boots.
telekinesis, Fade Bolt, rearm, telekinesis, Fade Bolt, right? I mean,
Yeah, it seems like a lot of mana. That's at least 600 mana right there.
well, he did go for the phase boots. Going to be making a Yules after that. Rocket comes off. I don't think the A ult is going to land. He's going to get hit by the dot portion. And wow, look at... Oh my god, he might actually be in some trouble here. Nah, he's actually too high. He's not going to die from that. Only level 1 A ultimate, but that's the global power right now that AL's bringing. Like, those supports just get so low so fast. Even their mid. Like, he doesn't have anything. He has 2 ranks in null field, but that's still not stopping the tremendous amount of burst damage that AL has. So, in later team fights, they're going to have to be really cautious of that.
And Sanking actually just picked up his Blink Dagger in his stash. So that's going to be huge to turn around team fights. And I think Tinker's bots might be able to even the game out a little bit for AL, knowing that Furion and Tinker could just be anywhere in a second. But even so, I still think they need to put a little more pressure on EG, because they're just sitting back and farming, and they're ahead right now, so they can do that.
Yeah, I mean, Fear's still been AFK farming too. I mean, he's at 134 CS at 18 minutes. That's pretty ridiculous. The rest of the supports from EG, they might even be trying to bait Fear out here. Maybe think that AL's going to try to kill him. He does have a replica up somewhere, though. Not really sure where it is. I think it's in the base, actually. Yeah, it is. So he's going to go ahead and not use it, I guess. He's just going to hold out. Not going to see any reaction from EG. They're going to continue pushing on this bottom lane. And Godot opted to buy a Midas after his medallion, so he's transitioning to more of a late game, I guess you could say, build. He wants to get his gold up as fast as possible. And yeah, I think this game's going to go on for a while, so that's definitely not a bad call. As long as you have enough time to make up for the money lost and investing into a Midas, I think it's a worthy pickup.
Yeah, I like the pickup of the Midas. He probably, I would think he would want like a sheep stick, and he's already got 2k gold now at 20 minutes, so he pretty much turned it around pretty well, and he should be able to... They're going to need that sheep, especially with the Lincolns on Morphling.
Yeah, and the experience and gold have actually swung completely back into favor of AL. It's actually even in terms of gold at this point, but experience still slightly going in their favor. Heard an A ultimate go off. I believe it was towards bottom. It did end up clipping Fear right here. And he needs to be careful because he can't morph with the sun, or he's basically just going to kill himself, but that portion is going to wear off. He does have another replica dot anyway, so I think he would have been fine in the situation. Shatan sitting down here all by himself. No one else here to defend him. There still are 3 heroes of EG and their jungle. Oh man, they might be going for this. Fear actually goes in. He's going to throw out the adaptive strike here. Rockets go off. Is he going to be able to get it? He's going to do some right-click damage with the conversion. Yeah, stack conversion enough to tank the tower. And he does get the kill there on Shatan, so not really much he could have done about that.
That was so close. He lasered him, but Fear's last attack already was just setting off.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he would have been able to live for a little longer, and maybe some support could have came. But I'm surprised it did not see at least the TP. Not one hero tried to TP over there.
Well, he had his replica anyway. I'm not sure if it would have mattered necessarily, unless somebody TP'd who had a stun up, maybe like CK. I think that would have been the one of the heroes who could have made something happen, because they did burn his Lincoln, so who knows. Going to see a TP attempted, actually, by Godot here by the middle lane, but he's not going to go through with it. Probably the right call. Venomancer and Rubik both here. Let's look at Rubik. He is going for Yules. He's got the Staff of Wizardry and the Void Stone up, and Phase Boots on top of that, so he's going for the very, very fast-moving Rubik build. Not to mention having Yules in itself is great. Helps you mitigate some damage, get heroes off of your teammates where you otherwise wouldn't have another disable for them. Just all around a very, very good item that I think we're probably going to be seeing much more of in the future.
And AL just smoked mid. They need to do a little better comboing of the A and the CK. A threw his ult mid to try to hit the Venom, but CK could have just blinked and stunned first, and then A could hit the ult. So they need to... Their communication's been off with those 2 heroes, and Bulba just stole Chaos Bolt.
Yeah, that's something that you hate to play against, too. I mean, you know, too, because one of these times Bleak's going to get like a 2-second stun, and then Rubik's going to get 4, and it's just going to be like, oh gosh, what are we going to do? And right now, Bleak just kind of sitting mid, doing his farm thing on. He's up to 103 CS, 104 for Furion, but still the story of the game is Fear, who is sitting at 168. He has his Lincolns finished, obviously, as we saw in that bottom lane. He's not going to go for an Ethereal Blade. He's actually picking up a Yasha, so he wants to go for the pure right-click build rather than going for that quote-unquote shotgun that some people have aptly named it. And I don't mind that choice so much, especially considering the fact that in the later stages of the game, having the right-click damage, I think, is better for him, especially when he gets like up a Scotty if he wants to go that route, and a Satanic. I think that's pretty cookie-cutter for late-game Morphlings nowadays. I think having the addition of that damage for your Satanic is probably going to be a bit better, but Ethereal Blade's still very strong. Can pick off heroes like AA, like Tinker, pretty much no problem.
Yeah, it's pretty situational, I'd say. They don't have too many low hit point heroes on AL, so I don't think the shotgun, as they call it, would be as
Oh, missed the spot right
effective.
there.
Wow, that was close.
Yeah, Melk getting out of there with his life. I think that was a Fog Sprout attempt there by Godot, so very close, but unfortunately didn't manage to get it. Demon going to go ahead and spot out Snoopy on the low ground here. He could be looking at a solo Epi. I don't know if he has enough health to live through that. 948, actually, I think he does. He might end up dying to just right-click damage and stuff like that, but 948, I think, is enough to live through a Burrow and level 2 Epi by itself. Ale formed up here mid, looking to push down this middle lane. You can see Rubik standing here on guard, finished up his Yules. He's got that double damage rune, throwing out the Fade Bolt. Man, that thing bounces so many times. Holy crap. And these
Yeah,
trees hit for nothing. They just do no damage. Wow, that's definitely really, really good against heroes like Furion. Damage reduction on a creep wave, very strong. And EG actually going to fall back from this second tier tower in the bottom lane as Fear is split pushing. He does have his Yasha up, and he's not going to dive the Tinker this time. He's going to go ahead and choose to back up.
AL's just kind of wasting time mid. They're not pushing. They're getting 2 lanes pushed, and once again, Fear's still farming. And Shatan's keeping him from taking the tower, but he should have probably TP'd mid and tried to get some kills off that.
EG has managed to secure themselves a little bit of a lead again, as we're going to see Bleak make it to the bottom lane here. Oh no, Universe is all by himself. Sand King is in the wood, though. He's going to get spotted out by Snoopy, but in the meantime, we have a Sprout going off onto Universe. 4-second stun coming out, and he is not living through this. A nice Burrow Strike, though. Managed to throw up the Purge onto Bleak. Epicenter is going to come out here, but Godot actually has up a mech now, so he's not going to take too much damage, and Demon is going to get dusted here. Another 4-second stun from Bleak. The A ultimate going to be off, but it doesn't matter. That is a double kill for Chaos Knight. But in the meantime, I think that they ended up getting the top tier tower. Yeah, Fear killed the tier 2 top. So trading a tower for 2 heroes, not necessarily the greatest thing in the world for EG, because now I think that AL is going to feel a little bit more confident in pushing this bottom tier towers. Oh no, convergence on middle lane. Musica in some trouble. Going to see TP reaction coming out. Musica throws out the Ravage, hits absolutely nothing. Huge misplay by Musica, but he's going to be Yules onto Rubik right here. I'm not sure if that was the right call. Now Boba going to drop here. Phantasma's popped along with a 4-second Chaos Bolt, and he's going to drop as well. So 3 heroes going down straight away, and committing that much onto a tide when you already have 2 heroes dead. Kind of a questionable play right there from EG.
Yeah, unfortunately, that Ravage didn't hit anybody. They still managed to get a kill. I don't know why Boba used himself there.
Maybe a misclick? Maybe double tapped it? I know I've done that from time to time. It is very frustrating when it happens, but yeah, I didn't really see a reason for that.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know if he thought he had support coming in. If they told Fear to TP mid or something, but they should be able to get a tower here. Maybe even 2 to rotate bottom, but
I just think of how much better position they would have been in if Musica didn't Ravage right there. They would have had no problem pushing that tier 2 bottom. I mean, Sand King is going to be up, but he uses Epicenter bottom, and it didn't really do anything. Godot had his mech up just in time, thankfully. And he's actually sitting on top of 2,100 gold in addition to what he already has, which is the Midas and Medallion. So he's doing very, very well for himself now. And that, oh no, Tinker going to get caught out here. Telekinesis, Gale's going to land. There's a Soul Catcher in the waveform. That's a dominating streak for Fear. He has his entire Manta finished now, and his farm is just spiraling out of control very, very quickly. 216 CS, 4-0-0 right now, just 26 minutes into the game. And he's going to be really hard to deal with if they keep letting him farm like this.
yes, Bleach just got a BKB on his Chaos Knight, but EG's going to come take Roche, and I don't think they're going to be able to kill this Morphling ever again.
Well, if they know they're doing Roche, let's see what the cooldown A ultimate is. Okay, so it's 30 seconds. They're not going to have any time. Morphling is going to do too much damage to this. They won't be able to get into position to stop it. And with a Morphling who has an Aegis in this much farm, I think that EG is going to be looking to apply some pressure.
Yeah, now Demon could just sit in the back of fights, wait till they go on Fear, and he could just completely turn the fight with Epicenter. His last one wasn't too good, but I think this next one will probably be a little better.
Well, Tide has a blink now too, so that's also important to keep in mind. So now we don't have to worry about Musica having those airball ravages that
Now
we
we'll
saw
hit
in
a
middle lane.
Ravage,
Yeah.
at least on one hero.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to pick on players, but when you're an impact hero like that, you absolutely have to perform. You can't have stuff like that happen. It's pretty much game-changing. I mean, in that case, he kind of lucked out because there was nothing EG could do to fight them. But in general, I feel like if you have stuff like that happen on a consistent basis, then you need to practice the hero a bit more, which is strange because his ultimate pretty much hits the entire screen.
Yeah, maybe that's why Boba used himself to not get hit by the Ravage.
It was way late, though. Like, really like.
Whatever, they got a kill, so you could basically count that to Ravage. So 1 for 1 is decent.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. All right, so Fear sitting in this bottom lane still, waiting for everyone to leave so he can go ahead and farm up that creep wave. He's thinking about doing it. He's gonna peek his head out of the jungle. Okay, there we go. He's gonna come up here and start farming after he sees that there are a couple of heroes mid. Nice warding so far from EG, I want to say too, because it's not like Ale has been playing that passively. They've been sitting around the river. They've been trying to make some ganks happen on and off, but just unable to really do anything because of the nice warding coming out from EG throughout the entirety of this game. Only 14-13 at 28 minutes in. Not the most action-packed game, I would say, but a very technical game. Just trying to get as much advantage as they can. Push lanes when they can, get the towers. Going to see a replicate used here on Musica. Apparently he doesn't like himself. He's going to swing his bone club at it.
PG's been able to put offensive wards up, and they've been able to really control the map and control the pace of the game. They've been sitting around his floor.
Taking quite a bit of damage here. He's going to get Adaptive Struck too. I don't think that Fear's going to stop chasing. He actually gets semi-creep block, but here comes Bleak and Snoopy from the back, and yeah, he's going to port to his replicate. That is the right call as soon as he sees people coming down there, but actually the rest of EG's here with a triple smoke up. Oh man, that's going to be a haster, not going to be able to get purged off, but oh no, Snoopy's going to get caught by a Blink counter Ravage right there. Can Snoopy get a good ultimate to follow? He will. There's a nice Yules, dodges the Ice Blast, but here comes Godot. They're going on Milk right here. 3-second stun, 1 auto attack is going to kill him. 4 staff out there by Universe. Can he actually get away from this? The slow is going to go off, and here comes Bleak in the back. Pops his BKB. Are they going to be able to chase him down? It doesn't feel like it, and now we're going to see actually Godot dropping here. 2 Morphling. Fear has made his way back into the team fight, so currently a 1 for 2. And where the heck did Universe go? Did he actually TP out? I think he did. Sand King. Oh, he did end up dying. Okay. So they get a 2 for 1. So that's not too bad. They lost their Furion, which definitely stinks. Fear made his way back into the fight just in time to secure their team a kill, where otherwise it would have been just an 0 for 2. So that's nice for them. And he's seeing Ping in this bottom lane. It's like he wants to apply pressure here. A nice reaction Ravage right there from Musica, much better than the one we saw middle lane. Managed to pick off a hero pretty much instantaneously, and Rubik managed to live through that with the use of his Yules and Blink Dagger. So he went for the mobile build, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it was a great fight by NAL. That's what happens when Ravage hits more than one hero, or hits actually heroes. And EG tried to come back, but they didn't have Demon there, so they couldn't really turn that around, and were just happy getting Furion.
Yeah, that was a something for nothing situation for them. It's like, okay, we're going to get a couple of heroes picked off here, but at the very least, we kill a Furion. And if you're in AL shoes, it's kind of like, well, you kill our Furion, but Furion farms ridiculously fast anyway, and he's got a Midas, and he's also sitting on top of an Ultimate Orb and 1900 extra gold, so he's going to have his Hex pretty darn soon. It's only 30 minutes in, so his farm is actually doing very, very well at the moment. Fear's still leading the CS charts by quite a bit, 246. Next highest is actually only 150, and that's going to be the Furion. Not really too surprising. Furion's not really looking to spam his ultimate in this game anyway. Doesn't want to push out the waves too much. Just wants to make sure that he can get up his core items and let his team get some semblance of farm. Right now, look at the gold graph. So still about 1,500 in favor of EG. Pretty much dead even in the experience department. And that just shows, man, how close this game still is. And there are outer tier towers standing in a 31-minute game when you have a Tinker, Furion, and a Tide, plus a CK to push lanes. I mean, if you're EG, you got to be happy with that.
Yeah, it's been pretty back and forth. I think AL should be more happy because I would say they got dominated in the laning phase with the roaming sports of EG. But they've been able to slowly work their way back. And we got a smoke coming out from the CKA. They're looking to pick off somebody.
Well, between those two heroes alone, I'm sure they can get the max level of that Chaos Strike. So a couple of lucky crits, and they can pretty much kill anyone. That's the thing about CK, man. Once you get your Phantasm up and your Reality Rift one time, oh no, University does have the Force Staff. Ooh, gets just out of range of the Reality Rift. Almost got pulled in. That was a pretty sick reaction there from Universe. Very, very well done.
Yeah, that was good reaction time. I mean, he literally had to just see it because he just got out of smoke.
Well, now
he was still able to get away.
Yeah, Bleak and Snoopy just going to go ahead and make their way back towards this middle lane. And this is the one thing about Morphling that I think a lot of people underestimate, is the fact that you can't really kill him at this point. I mean, he is just sitting in side lanes. He's going to pop his replicate right here. He might even go on Chitan. Okay, never mind. He's going to Force Staff away and just opt to kill the tower instead. But this is what I mean. Like, what can AL do aside from sending like 3 or 4 heroes to kill him at this point? And even if they do, he has an Aegis.
Yeah, he's picking up his Ethereal Blade. So he's going to have that shotgun that people call it. I hate that word, but whatever. people use it. So
he's gonna have
that's
the
all I have to
kill
say.
you really fast item, basically.
Yeah, I like to say the wombo combo. You know,
It is a wombo
but
combo. Gonna have a pause out here from EG, but yeah, once he picks up his Ethereal Blade, he's got enough money for the Eagle Song right now. He's got the courier sitting in the side shop just waiting to pick it up. I think that heroes like Tinker and AA especially are going to be the fodder for him. I mean, the AA has 1,000 HP, but considering the fact that Fear is likely going to be changing the rest of his strength into agility once he picks it up, that Ethereal Blade Adaptive Strike combo is going to be doing so much damage, I don't think they're going to be able to live through it, especially considering they don't have anything like a pipe. Oh, they do have a pipe.
Music has a pipe, yeah.
Yeah, the Tidehunter does have a pipe up, so that's nice for them.
Yeah, that'll be pretty good, but still, EG doesn't really need a pipe because they have no field. So they're able to go on some different builds. And yeah, you still got like a Demon's farming the side lane, Morphling's farming the side lane, and AL's just kind of sitting around mid like, what do we do?
Well, this is the one thing that I thought that AL's team would be able to capitalize more is these kind of passive phases. You have two heroes who can teleport anywhere on the map, but they haven't really been utilizing that, you know? Like, they're not sitting in lanes trying to farm like EG are. They're playing this really scared. Godot is still jungling. I mean, jungling is gold, don't get me wrong, but it's not the most effective way to farm, especially as a hero who can be anywhere on the map. I mean, that's something that you really have to take advantage of. Fear's going to eat a rocket to the face here, but not going to be too scared. He's sitting on top of, what, 242 agility right now. Gonna replicate to the bottom. Oh no, Snoopy just gets annihilated by the Ethereal Blade Adaptive Strike, and Venomancer will get his ultimate off before he drops, respectively. Now Shatan in a bit of trouble. The medallion was popped, and one extra right click goes off, and here comes Demon with the Burrow Strike, hitting two. Pops the BKB. Musica does start the Ravage, but he can't stop the Epicenter because the BKB pipe is popped. Musica not taking too much damage, and there's a counter Ravage from Rubik. He stole it from Musica, and now AL is on the run, currently at 2 for 2. Morphling picks off Nature's Prophet on the side. Triple kill for him. He did end up losing his Aegis, however, so that's definitely good for AL. They don't lose any towers out of it. It looks like they might end up losing mid, unfortunately for them. That team fight, man, stealing Ravage, really nice positioning right there from the Rubik. I didn't even see him. That's how far out of the team fight he was, and that's the power of being able to spell steal stuff like that.
Yeah, that wasn't the worst team fight from AL. They managed to get the Aegis, but the AA got picked off just instantly, so his ult wasn't there to help, and stealing the Ravage obviously is just going to win you the team fight. And the BKB from the SK. They didn't know, AL didn't know that Sand had the BKB, so he was just able to run in there and stun and help out Morphling first, and then BKB and ult, and not worry about himself being stopped.
Yeah, Musica saw it, and he's like, I have to Ravage. Like, you have to Ravage in that situation anyway, because otherwise you're just going to die without using it, and that's pretty much something that you can't have happen, but it really put him between a rock and a hard place. And Musica needs to be in trouble here. He's actually going to go down to Fear once again. Replicate just going to bring him back towards the Roche pit. How long on Roche? Probably about another minute or two. And EG is looking pretty strong right now. 35 minutes into the game, 18-18. Fear almost 300 CS, 9-0-0, sitting on top of 2,700 gold, in addition to his Ethereal Blade, Manta, and Lincoln Sphere at this point. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything to stop him. I mean, they killed him once, but he's going to get another item and possibly another Aegis on top of this. You have to kind of imagine, like, EG is not going to try to push a fight until Roshan spawns again, in which case Ravage is probably going to be up, but I don't know if AL can take a fight in the Roche pit.
Yeah, EG's got the wards up. Furion just picked up the sheep, but at the same time, like you said, EG's not going to push. They're going to play it safe. They're going to just farm up, keep the lanes pushed, and then they're going to take Roche. And AL would need to do a smoke gank. Like I said before, the Tidehunter, he ravaged, but he didn't cast anything after. You got to cast the Anchor Smash right away so that the Rubik doesn't steal it.
Yeah. Especially if the heroes are going to be stunned anyway. I mean, you do want to hit Bulba if you possibly can with that, but unfortunately that is not going to be the case, as they did end up getting counter-ravaged and did end up working out for them. Oh no, Fear's actually trying to pick up Goat out here on the side, but he's going to get hexed out here. He is converting to strength before he gets hexed, so he might be able to live through this. He is waveforming about 1 second, and I think he will be A-okay. The rest of his team is coming. He's actually stopped converting stats. He's going to go ahead and try to man-fight this. 4-second stun, though. Oh, another blink counter-ravage coming out from Rubik, and Musica throws out a ravage of its own. Here comes the A ultimate onto Fear. He's going to drop here. That's a huge kill. Now the rest of EG immediately starts retreating. Here comes Demon with the big epicenter pipe. Was already popped, though. Musica solo on HP. He does end up going down there to the Shadow Demon. It looks like Demon actually on the side trying to get away here. He is dusted, can't really walk away from that. He is going to get hit from an auto attack of CK and taken out with a crit. So it looks like a buyback from Fear straight away. They're going to go right back into the Roche pit and try to get Roshan before AL can react, and I think this is the right decision from EG.
Yeah, it was a good fight from AL, but then once again, Bulba still had the Ravage up, so he was able to blink Ravage, and he almost saved the Morphling, but it just wasn't enough. But the Morph just bought back, and
oh no, this could be a huge mistake from AL. Don't engage into an Aegis fight. Bleak's going to be the first one in. He's going to get Reality Rifted back in. Bulba just stole it. He's going to pull him back. He gets Telekinesis, and yeah, his team is basically just abandoning him. He can't really go on that at all because Fear just got another Aegis. Just too risky of a team fight. A Ultimate is going to go off, however. Doesn't manage to hit anyone, but that's going to be Bleak dropping and a free Aegis coming out for EG. By the way, Bleak picking up a Heaven's Halberd for that Morphling, so definitely a very good choice, I would say. Morphling's right-click damage at this stage in the game hits for over 300, and with that amount of agility, oh no, Godot getting caught out in the side here, and a couple of right-clicks, just waiting for the Ethereal Blade or the Waveform. Tries to TP out, but it's not going to work. Adaptive Strike, more than enough to get him that kill. And that's another hero getting picked off for basically no reason, man. These aggressive wards are just paying dividends for EG.
it's going to be so hard for EG to push, though, with the March spam, so they should be able to they're going to buy themselves some time. You can see Demon is up top, just pushing the top lane. They know that they're not going to be able to push too well.
Yeah, Demon doing what he can to counter push, though. He's got 1,700 gold on top of his BKB and Blink, and he's done pretty well this game considering the situation he was in. Oh my god, Shatan! Living life on the edge. Got away with less than 20 HP right there. Even popped his Soul Ring, too, before the combo came out. Nice reaction by Fear, but unfortunately not enough to get him a kill. 20 to 21 right now, still in favor of EG. Looking at the gold graph, still about 7,500 in EG's favor, along with experience. So not really insurmountable, I would say, at this point. It is 40 minutes into the game, so that lead is not as significant as it would be in an earlier stage. But overall, man, I kind of have this looming feeling like AL's not going to be able to really come back from these team fights if EG just keeps getting Roche for free.
Yeah, and Bulba's working on the sheep now, too. I like the Heaven's Halberd pickup so that the Morph isn't as effective. But then again, he has his Manta, so you got to pick the right one, and you got to wait a little bit. And after that, he's probably going to kill at least one hero. Yeah, AA got a gem, so they're going to get the counter wards up.
Yeah, this is a really interesting situation for AL because they have a team that is so good at picking people off, but it feels like EG has just played the aggressors the entire game. I mean, you have Tinker, Fear on AA, great global ultimates, you have Ravage. You can pick and choose your team fights if you're AL, but it just feels like EG has had better decision-making from the word go.
Yeah, Morph's going to have a Scotty soon. Tinker's going to be picking up a sheep, but they're going to need to put the sheeps on, the Morphling or the Sand King. The Sand King has BKB, so it's going to be tough. They got to play these team fights well and get good Ravages off and hopefully have Rubik not steal Ravage.
Well, maybe EG is feeling a bit more confident in pushing a lane, so we see the rest of them making their way towards that Tier 3 tower bottom. Shatan going to go ahead and TP back to base, rearm, spam the wave down as much as he can. Fear sitting on top of 346 blast hits at 40 minutes into the game. His farm has been phenomenal throughout the entirety of the game. Not really a surprise, though. He was basically soloing against a Tide, ended up getting a kill in the early lane phase. And as much farm as he has, man, he is not a team player, only 1 assist. Got to pick on him for something, right?
Yeah. He's taking all the kills with a kill stealer.
What a kill stealer. I mean, it's hard not to kill steal when you have an Ethereal Blade, Adaptive Strike, and I don't know, close to 300 agility. It's pretty hard not to get every single kill. They all kind of just sitting up, turtled on their base at the moment. Bleak making his way towards his jungle. Look like he wants to try to farm something. And they did counter ward, which is nice, so they're not going to have to worry about those aggressive wards coming out from EG picking off Godot last time. That was a big problem for them. And I guess EG is still content to farm. I mean, if you're in EG's spot right now, I believe it's still okay to do this because you are getting more effective farm than the team that you're playing against. But at some point, you got to go knocking on your enemy's door, right?
Yeah, and I don't know about Snoopy holding this gem. He only has 1,000 life, and we already saw him, Morphling can instant kill him, so I think he should give it to the Tide, but looks like they're going to try to go on top. The AA ult's flying up there already.
Oh, Demon could be in some trouble. He has BKB, though, gets 3 seconds stun. There's the ultimate to boot. Oh, nice Hex coming out from Godot as well. He is not going to live through that. He has buyback money, though. So it's not like AL's really going to be able to push off this. They could, at the very least, bait out a buyback and then retreat. Hopefully not going to see another overcommitment like we did in the Roche pit from Bleak. That was definitely a troublesome mistake for AL. And nope, not going to see a buyback just yet. TP's coming back, though. Venomancer making his way to the top lane.
Well, it's nice to see AL, 40 minutes in the game, finally make use of their global abilities and get a kill on someone.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that I think we both expected to see a lot earlier on. I mean, the fact that Godot didn't go for a Hex straight away, he went for the Midas on top of the Medallion and then the Mech. I mean, a really, really late Hex is okay, but it kind of takes away from Furion's mid to, I guess you could say, mid-late game presence. They didn't have that Hex, and that's something that they really, really needed to get kills.
Yeah, I didn't really like the Medallion pickup because he just stayed and farmed, and they didn't really fight. He didn't really try to outfight. So I think the Medallion was kind of a waste. Could have got the Midas earlier and given him the Mech earlier, given him the Sheep earlier. But it's still working out pretty decent. It's still a pretty even game.
Bleak. Taking a ton of damage right there from Fear. Going to see a teleport in here from Godot. Oh, nice waveform up to the top right there. Actually, should buy him some time, and the rest of his team's here, so they're going to turn around and go on this. Bleak pretty low. Does he pop the BKB? He does get purged, and he pops a Phantasm, but just gets right-clicked down by Fear. Godot sprouting himself here, 1v1 against Bulba, but yeah, there goes the gem. Should be dying immediately. 2 Morphling right there. Universe running away from the Phantasms, not quite enough to secure him a kill, and now Godot in some trouble as well, chasing off Bulba at the very least, but now Universe is here with Demon. Soulcatcher goes off. Not going to see an Epicenter popped right away. Telekinesis is used, however, and Godot is going to be in quite a bit of trouble here. Is he actually going to get the kill on Bulba? Wow, very aggressive play coming out from the Rubik right there. I thought he would continue to try to juke, but apparently Spontrians just got rid of all his juke spots, and he ended up dropping. So, Tide and Tinker not anywhere near that team fight, even though it was relatively close to the base. I guess they kind of just said, you know what, we're not going to win that fight. Might as well just cut our losses, and now EG looks like they might potentially be able to push the base at 44 minutes in.
Yeah, Tide, for some reason, went after the Venom. The Venomancer was mid, and Tinker chose the TP there and tried to get
no, Shatan. We're going to have a Ravage out to save him. It does manage to hit 2. Fierce in some trouble. There's the Lincoln's being popped, and the A ultimate coming off as well. It doesn't hit Fear, though, and a nice BKB by Demon. Doesn't take any damage. Rockets will come off, though. Fear might end up losing his Aegis. No, he's not. He's going to convert his agility just a little bit. There's a Hex coming off as well. The Tinker finally does have one. Now we're going to see a port in from Godot, and a Replicate was used. Fear going to be able to make it back to base. Can't say the same for Shadow Demon, though, who ends up falling. So just when I think that EG is going to be able to crack down the door of AL, they managed to buy back and defend their base. So Demon sitting down here has his bots on top of Mana Boots, actually. He has 2 pairs of boots. Interesting. Just doesn't want to have to save room for a TP.
It's so hard pushing against that Tinker, and even though they jumped into him, the AAO almost hit 2 heroes, and they both could have went down too. But without the CK up, and they weren't going to kill him.
Here's the real problem. Morphling is going to have a full inventory. I mean, he pretty much has a full inventory unless he wants to get rid of his Aegis at this point. He didn't even lose it in that whole engagement. Barely dodged out that AA ultimate like you were saying. It's just, what can AL really do? I mean, we saw how fast even the CK died. I mean, CK is a great hero, but Morphling has double his CS, basically, and he's sitting on top of 13 kills, and AL hasn't even gotten all the outer base towers yet. So he's not really given himself like a spot where he can contend on farm. And CK is good, but he's not good enough to compete with somebody who has twice his farm.
Yeah, it looks like they're just trying to buy time for this Tinker. He has a Sheep now, and he has 2,500 gold already. But he should be TPing top and keeping pressure up top. Demon's going up there to push it, but he should be fine against one hero.
Well, Fear does have the Scotty finished, sitting on top of 2,500 HP at the moment. Actually has some points in strength, which is a little bit weird. Typically after the Scotty, most players opt for the 1 strength, because you just have so much. I mean, he has plus 86 from all his items at this point in the game. Gonna see bots coming in bottom lane from the Sand King, so it looks like EG might potentially be pushing. Tide Ravage is down for another 15 seconds. Tide sitting at level 18, so he does have level 3 Ravage, which is great. Fear obviously been level 25 for a while. Tinker sitting at level 19. He has his Hex up along with Furion's Hex. And I gotta give it to Ale, man. They've done a really good job at defending as well. That Ethereal Blade itself did quite a bit of damage to Shatan. Oh, but now here comes Fear with the right-click damage. Reality gonna go off. They're gonna throw a stun out onto Fear once again. He does have his Aegis, though. Bleak going all in. There's the Hex to boot. Oh, nice disruption. And here comes the counter Ravage. Hits 3 in the back. A Ultimate gonna be a bit off the mark, though. Phantasm popped, and he's gonna Reality Rift back in onto Melk. And Fear is not dead yet. He is right-clicking down the rest of the heroes of AL. Here comes a nice Epicenter on top of Bleak as well. Bleak's going to go down first, and the Aegis was blown, so 1 for 1. But however, Fear's going to be up in just a second. This is overcommitment. Shatan is going to go down here for sure, as well as Snoopy. There's the waveform in, 1 auto attack, and that's going to be all she wrote for both AA and Taker. Taker buys back straight away, but Godot's going to die as well to the Ethereal Blade and the Adaptive Strike. Manta is popped, and I got to think that's going to be GG. Morphling just kills your base way too fast at this point in the game.
Yeah, it was nice that AL almost picked off the Morphling, but there was no sheeps on him. The Ravage came a little too late. They needed a little faster response to that, and they probably could have taken the whole fight. As you see, EG is sitting at half on all their heroes, besides the Morphling, of course. But yeah, that's just too much.
Yeah, the GGs are going to come out here from Bleak and Ale. The rest of the team basically just saying, you know what, good game, guys. We know we're not going to be able to defend our base at this point. Using Kapas's Blade Mail. That is a spiky Tidehunter right there. But EG takes out Absolute Legends once again. First in the defense and now in ECAL's group stages. I want to thank you guys again very much for watching. I want to thank you, Ganked, especially for the last-minute co-cast, man. Really appreciate it.
No problem, anytime. This is a good game. Not so exciting, but pretty tactical, like we were saying.
Yeah, it was a pretty slow-paced game, but, you know, I don't mind those every once in a while. But that's going to be it for the day. Only one best of one. EG takes out Absolute Legends once again. My name is Draskyl. Joining me for today, Ganked of NEODota. So thanks again. Thanks you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.